Hey everyone, let me ask you something. When was the last time you walked into a clothing store and felt like you could actually afford to express yourself? Like really express who you are without checking your bank account 3 times? That's exactly what H&M has been doing for over 75 years. And today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating fashion stories you've probably never fully heard. Because H&M isn't just another fast fashion brand. It's a company that started in a small Swedish town and literally changed how the entire world thinks about accessible fashion. And honestly, the story gets even more interesting when you look at what they're doing right now. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about H&M. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see those stores in a completely different light. And hey, if you find this interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of people who love to understand the brands that shape our world, and I'd love to have you here with us. All right, let's rewind to 1947. Sweden is recovering from World War II, and a guy named Erling Persson is traveling through the United States. He's on a mission. He notices something fascinating in American stores. They're selling fashionable women's clothing at prices that regular people can actually afford. This might not sound revolutionary now, but back then, fashion was luxury. It was exclusive. It was expensive. Persson comes back to Sweden with a wild idea. What if fashion could be democratic? What if everyone, regardless of their income, could dress well and feel confident? So in 1947, he opens his first store in Västerås, Sweden. And get this, it's called Hennes, which means hers in Swedish. It only sells women's clothing. The concept is simple but radical. Offer the latest trends at prices people can afford. Fast forward to 1968. Persson acquires a hunting and fishing equipment store called Moritz Widfors, which also sells men's clothing. And that's when Hennes becomes Hennes & Mauritz, or as we know it today, H&M. From day one, they knew exactly who they were. A brand for everyone. And that clarity of purpose, that's what built an empire. So how does a Swedish clothing store become a global phenomenon? Well, it starts with a simple strategy. Bring fashion to the people, wherever they are. In the 1970s and 80s, H&M starts expanding across Europe. But the real game changer? When they land in New York City in 2000. Opening on Fifth Avenue was a statement. Accessible fashion belongs everywhere, even in the most prestigious shopping districts on earth. And here's something most people don't realize. H&M doesn't own factories. They work with around 800 independent suppliers. This model allows them to be incredibly flexible and respond quickly to trends. Think about it. A designer shows something on a runway, and within weeks, H&M has a version in stores worldwide at a fraction of the price. That speed is what made them revolutionary. But it's not just about speed. H&M also started doing something brilliant in the 2000s, designer collaborations. Karl Lagerfeld in 2004 was the first. Lines stretched around blocks. Websites crashed. People went absolutely crazy. Since then, they've collaborated with Versace, Balmain, Moschino, and so many others. These collaborations do something magical. They democratize high fashion. Suddenly, anyone can own a piece designed by one of the world's top designers. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sustainability. Fast fashion has a reputation, and it's not great. The industry is one of the largest polluters in the world. It uses massive amounts of water, produces tons of textile waste, and working conditions have been a major issue. H&M has faced all these criticisms, and for a while they responded with vague promises. But something shifted. Maybe it was pressure from consumers, especially younger generations who care where their clothes come from. Maybe it was the realization that there's no business on a dead planet. Whatever it was, H&M started taking sustainability seriously. In 2013, they launched their Conscious collection, made from materials like organic cotton and recycled polyester. They also started their garment collecting program. You can bring old clothes to any H&M store, from any brand, and they'll recycle them. They've collected over 130,000 tons of textiles since 2013. Is this perfect? No. Critics argue that the most sustainable option is to consume less, not to keep buying sustainable fast fashion. And they have a point. But here's what I appreciate. H&M has committed to using 100% recycled or sustainably sourced materials by 2030. They've published detailed sustainability reports showing where they are and where they're falling short. They're investing in textile recycling technology. Are they doing enough? That's debatable. But they're doing more than many of their competitors, and they're being relatively transparent about the challenges. The truth is, changing a business model built on volume is incredibly difficult. But the fact that they're trying, that they're investing billions in these initiatives, that matters. So what is H&M today? First, it's massive. We're talking nearly 5,000 stores in 75 markets, employing around 120,000 people. They're one of the largest fashion retailers on the planet. But size isn't everything. What makes H&M interesting is how they've evolved. Walk into an H&M today and you'll see different lines for different people. H&M Basics for essentials, H&M Trend for fashion-forward pieces, and H&M Conscious for sustainable options. There's even H&M Home for furniture and decor. They've also invested heavily in digital. Their app and online store make shopping incredibly easy. And here's something cool. They have launched other brands under the H&M group. COS offers minimalist premium fashion, and Other Stories focuses on Parisian-inspired style. Weekday targets the younger, streetwear crowd. This multi-brand strategy is smart. It allows them to reach different customers without diluting the H&M brand. But what I find most interesting is how H&M has maintained that original vision. You can still walk in and put together an entire outfit for less than you'd spend on a single luxury item. That democratization of fashion, it's still there. Sure, the quality might not match a designer piece. But for someone who wants to experiment with trends, express their style, or just needs affordable basics, H&M delivers. So where is H&M headed? And more importantly, why should you care? Let's start with the challenges. The fashion industry is changing rapidly. Consumers, especially Gen Z, are more conscious about sustainability. They're demanding transparency. They're even embracing secondhand and vintage shopping. H&M is responding. They've invested in rental services and resale platforms. They're experimenting with circular business models where clothes are designed to be recycled from the start. They're also using technology in fascinating ways. AI helps them predict trends and manage inventory more efficiently, which reduces waste. But here's the bigger picture. H&M represents the idea that fashion, self-expression, and style shouldn't be limited to the wealthy. Love them or hate them, H&M made fashion accessible to billions of people. A student can afford to dress professionally for job interviews. A parent can buy their kids trendy clothes without going broke. Someone can experiment with their personal style without risking financial ruin. Is the fashion industry perfect? Absolutely not. Does it need to change? 100%. But companies like H&M are part of that conversation, part of that change. And as consumers, we have power. When we demand better practices, they listen. H&M's shift towards sustainability happened because people like you and me started caring. So here's what I want you to take away from this. H&M is more than just another store. It's a company that democratized fashion, that made style accessible to everyone, and that's now grappling with how to do that responsibly. Are they perfect? No. Should they do more? Probably. But they're part of a larger conversation about how we consume, how we express ourselves, and what kind of world we want to live in. Next time you walk past an H&M, maybe you'll think about Erling Persson's dream. Maybe you'll appreciate the complexity of bringing affordable fashion to billions while trying to protect the planet. And maybe you'll make more conscious choices about what you buy. Now, here's where you come in. If you enjoyed diving deep into this story, if you love understanding the brands that shape our world, then this channel is for you. We're building a community of curious people who want to look beyond the surface. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Click the bell so you don't miss our next video. We've got amazing content coming up about brands you interact with every day but probably do not fully understand. Drop a comment below and let me know. What's your relationship with H&M? Do you shop there? What do you think about fast fashion? I read every comment and I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you want to support what we're doing here, share this video with someone who loves fashion or business or just enjoys a good story. We're just getting started and I want you to be part of this journey. Thanks so much for watching. I'm genuinely grateful you spent this time with me. Remember, every brand has a story, and as consumers, we're part of that story too. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep being curious. See you in the next one.